Hey, what's up guys, it's DarkArmedDuelist and today doing a Lyrilusc deck profile. So I'm really excited to do some for you guys because this deck is an extremely powerful XZ deck that summons out a boss monster that can actually attack your opponent directly. Assembled Nightingale. So without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and definitely check out the Patreon down in the description below for all those awesome rewards. Like getting your name description every single video, getting assigned cards in the mail, and even getting to request a deck profile every single month you're a patron. So without further ado, let's get straight on into this. So first off, we're going to be playing 3 copies of Turquoise Warbler. Turquoise Warbler is definitely a 3-of in the build because this card has the ability, if you control no monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is special summoned from your hand, you can special summon a Lyrilusc monster from your hand or graveyard, instantly getting you 2 monsters out on your side of the field to make a rank 1 play. We then play 3 copies of Cobalt Sparrow. Cobalt Sparrow is definitely a 3-of as well because this card has the ability, if this card is special summoned, you can add a level 1 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand. Also, a Wind XZ monster that was summoned using this card in the field as a material has a bonus ability that your opponent cannot target it with card effects, which is a pretty cool effect. We then play 3 copies of Sapphire Swallow. Sapphire Swallow is amazing in this deck as a 3-of, because if you control a Winged Beast type monster, you can actually special summon this card from your hand, and a level 1 Winged Beast type monster as well, which is a great ability to instantly get 2 monsters on your side of the field, plus the monster you already had on the field to be able to summon out this card. Also, a Wind XZ monster that uses this card as a material gains the ability that if this card is XZ summoned, you can target a Lyrilusc monster in the graveyard and attach to this card as a material, just giving you more materials under your copy of Assembled Nightingale. We then play 3 copies of Beryl Canary. Beryl Canary is a really awesome card in this deck, and I have bumped this card up from 2 to 3 in this build, and this card is just really good because if this card's in your hand, you can actually target a Lyrilusc monster in the graveyard and special summon both it and this monster to your side of the field. And also a Wind XZ monster that was summoned using this card on the field as a material gains the ability that this card gains 200 attack, and also its control cannot switch. We then play 2 copies of Wagtail. You really only need 2 copies of Wagtail in this build. It's really good, but again, 2 copies is really all you need because it doesn't special summon itself. This card has the ability, if this card is special summon, you can add a Lyrilusc spell or trap from your deck to your hand, and if this card's in the graveyard, you can target a Lyrilusc XZ monster that you control and attach it to this, or attach this card to that monster as a material, which is a pretty cool effect just to give you an additional material on a monster. We then play 3 copies of DD Crow. DD Crow is awesome in the deck to help you get cards out of your opponent's graveyard, but it's also a Winged Beast that's a level 1, which can actually come up a lot in this deck. We then play 3 copies of Ash Blossom. Ash Blossom is definitely a 3-of in the build just to stop the opponent from touching the deck. We then play 3 copies of Effect Veiler. Effect Veiler helps out a lot in the build, basically just to negate your opponent's monster's effects. So, that's it for the monsters, guys. Let's get into the spells. So for the spells, we're going to start with a single copy of Foolish Burial. Foolish Burial is really good in the deck to be able to send cards like Wagtail from your deck to the graveyard, and it also sets up your copy of Beryl Canary, which is really nice to be able to do to instantly be able to use your copy of Beryl Canary to special summon itself to your side of the field, plus say a copy of Wagtail. We then play a single copy of 1 for 1. 1 for 1 helps out a lot in decks. We're basically just playing level 1s in this build, so this card helps out so much to be able to special summon out one of your Lyrilusc monsters to your side of the field. We then play a single copy of Called by the Grave. Called by the Grave just stops your opponent's hand trap so you can go in for all of your plays. We then play a single copy of Bird Sanctuary. Bird Sanctuary is really good in this deck as 1-of. And as you that you can target 2 Winged Beast XZ monsters you control and attach one of those monsters to the other as a material, and you transfer its materials to that monster, basically making an absolutely massive copy of your copy of Assembled Nightingale, so it can attack multiple times directly. This card also has a really cool ability that basically, if you control an XZ monster with 3 or more materials, you get to draw a card, which is an every single turn effect, which is absolutely amazing. We then play 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent. Tactics Talent is really good for all 3 of its awesome effects, letting you draw 2 cards, take control of an opponent's monster, or look at your opponent's hand, and basically put a card back into their deck, which is an amazing ability for this card to have. We then play 2 copies of Swallow's Cowrie. Cowrie is really good in this deck as a 2-of, and is actually why I bumped Barrel Canary up in this deck, because you do get to tribute a Wing Beast monster in your hand or face it from the field to add a Wing Beast monster from your deck to your hand with the same level but a different name than the monster that was tributed, which is a really cool effect to be able to instantly get to the exact monster that you want with this card's effect, and it's amazing to be able to use in this particular build, especially with your copy of Barrel Canary, because it does set up your copy of Barrel Canary by getting a monster into the graveyard to just instantly get the exact card that you need. We then play 3 copies of Bird Call. Bird Call is amazing in this build because this card is basically the Rhoda for the deck, letting you take a Lyrilusc monster from your deck and either adding it to your hand or sending it to the graveyard. Then you can special summon a Lyrilusc monster with a different name from your hand, which is a great effect. We then play 3 copies of an extremely spicy tech card that I'm actually going to lay face down, and we're going to play Guess That Card. This card is a really powerful 3-of that we're playing in the deck that helps you OTK your opponent, and we're going to reveal this card in 3, 2, 1, and don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, guys, and definitely hit that bell there so you can become part of notification squad, because we're almost to 100k subscribers, so every subscriber counts. So let's go ahead and see if you guys got this card right down in the comments, and it's actually going to be 3 copies of Psychic Blade. Psychic Blade is awesome in this deck because it makes your copy of a symbol Nightingale absolutely massive, as you pay life points in multiples of 100 all the way up to 2,000, and you equip this card to a monster, and it gains that many attack and defense points equal to the amount that you pay. So you can actually equip this card to a symbol Nightingale to be able to OTK your opponent, which is absolutely crazy to be able to do, and I love being able to do that to make the copy of a symbol Nightingale absolutely massive. So that's it for the spells, guys. Let's get into the traps. So for the traps, we're just going to be playing 3, and that's going to be 3 copies of Infinite Impermanence. Infinite Impermanence is an extremely helpful 3-of in the deck to basically stop your opponent's monster effects and also lock down entire columns of spells and traps. This card is a really powerful 3-of and just a definite awesome hand trap to be able to play along with all of our other hand traps to control the board. So that's it for the main deck, guys. Let's get into the extra deck. So for the extra deck, we're going to start off with Assembled Nightingale. Assembled Nightingale is a definite 2-of in the build to be able to OTK your opponent, as this card gains 200 attack for each XZ material attached to it. And this card can attack directly, and while this card has XZ materials, it can attack a number of times each battle phase up to the number of XZ materials attached to it. Also, once per turn, during either player's turn, you can detach a material from this card, and until the end of the turn, Lyrilusc monsters you control cannot be destroyed by battle or by card effects. Also, you take no battle damage from those battles. This card can be made with as many level 1 monsters as you have on your side of the field, and when you equip it with cards like Psychic Blade, it becomes absolutely massive to be able to OTK your opponent. We then play 3 copies of Reticle Starling. This card is basically Rhoda for the deck. It has the ability, if this card is XZ summon, you can target a face-up monster on the field, and it gains 300 attack and defense for each material attached to this card. Also, once per turn, you can detach a material from this card to add a level 1 Winged Beast monster from your deck to your hand, and all battle damage you take from battles involving your XZ monsters is also inflicted to your opponent, which is a pretty cool ability for this card to have. We then play 2 copies of Robin. Robin is amazing as a 2-of in the build, and this card helps out a lot in the build because it has the ability to gain 500 attack for each material attached to this card, and if your opponent special summons a monster, you can actually detach a material in this card to target one of those special summon monsters and return it back to the hand. And if this card in your possession is sent to the graveyard by an opponent's card, you can target one of their Lyrilusc monster in the graveyard and add it to your hand. We then play a single copy of Thrush. Thrush you don't summon all the time in the deck, but it's still a really good 1-of to be able to play because it is a great option in this particular deck to be able to summon out just in case you need to. We then play a single copy of Utopic Future. Utopic Future is great in this build as 1-of, so we can step into a copy of Utopic Draco Future. These cards are great in the build at 1 each because they do give you a walking negate in this deck, and it's very easy to put 2 XZ monsters on your side of the field to be able to summon your copy of F-Zero and your copy of Draco Future. We then play a single copy of Downer Magician. Downer Magician makes your copy of Zeus even more materials, helping you basically board wipe the field multiple times. We then play 2 copies of of Zeus. Zeus is just so important in this deck that I have to play 2 copies because it basically just board wipes the field and your opponent never expects a second copy. We then buy a single copy of Typhon. Typhon helps out a lot in this build to basically just summon out to your side of the field in any situation. And then finally, we play a single copy of Relinquished Anima because it's the only link monster you really need to be able to summon out to your side of the field to basically just gobble up monsters, because you can summon it out very easy in this deck because all you need to do is normal summon out a level 1 monster or have any level 1 monster on the field and then summon out this card to be able to gobble up a monster on the field. It's very helpful in this deck to basically just eat an opponent's monster and make this card absolutely massive. So that's it for the deck, guys. I hope you did enjoy it. This deck is super fun to be able to play. If you guys have never played Lyrilusc before, you should definitely give this deck a try because it's awesome to be able to OTK your opponent with your copy of Assembled Nightingale. And it's extremely consistent to be able to play, and I love all the spicy tech cards I'm playing in this build. So that's gonna do it for this one, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell there so you can become part of the notification squad, and we'll see you guys in the next video. See you later, guys.